420 on 1220. I don't smoke, but maybe you do. Light up, or whatever the fuck they say, whatever the kids say. Anyway, being pretty and the obsession with being pretty is something I struggle with a lot. I still struggle with it, I won't lie. It started back in middle school. I've talked about this before, about the whole dilemma in middle school. Don't need to get into it again. But, wasn't doing the best, didn't feel the best, didn't feel pretty. I wasn't skinny. I don't remember if everybody around me was taller, but everybody around me was like so pretty to me and so amazing. And I'm just like, I don't know. I used to have this thing where I idolized people a lot too, which led to a lot of envy also. And not necessarily like I would actually act on the envy. It would just be in my head, and I kind of keep it to myself. And I only realized that now, looking back. But anyway, I still have this thing. I'm learning and unlearning, bad habits and things like that. But I never thought I was pretty. I'm still struggling to accept that, I am pretty, and that, I'm attractive, beautiful, gorgeous, whatever you want to say. Those things are me, and I'm still struggling with that. Like I said, I started back in middle school. I wish I was skinnier. I wish I had like a bigger butt. I wish I had less boobs. I wish my face was slimmer. I wish my teeth were straight. I wish my nose was flatter. I wish my face was, I think I already said that. I'm losing track of my thoughts. I just wish I looked different. And I think to myself now, and I feel like I look how I wanted to look back then, because now I've grown into my body and things like that. But for some reason, it's just not registering that I'm here now, I don't know. There was that thing where people are like, oh my god, people didn't start calling me pretty until about 2 years ago when I lost weight and this and that. That's real, and it pisses me off so bad. Because, and this is like a me thing. I don't know if it's a you thing. Maybe you relate, maybe you don't. But once people started calling me pretty, I clung to that so hard. I didn't even realize I caused myself to start spiraling and try to be pretty at every waking moment. Like, I would get sad if I didn't look a certain way in the morning, Like, oh, if my hair didn't lay this way, oh, I'm automatically ugly and I'm not gonna have a good day. Or if, it wasn't even like if I didn't feel confident in my fit, it's if I didn't think the fit was good enough for other people to compliment me on, then I wouldn't feel good. And that's terrible to have that type of mindset, because your mindset should be, what do I feel confident in? What do I feel like I look good in? What do I see myself, as? And do I really love myself? That should really be where you're at. Not, oh, will this person like it? Will that person like it? Oh, will they compliment this? Or will they compliment that? Oh, they thought this was hot when I did it the one time, so I'm gonna do it forever. There are also times where I would need people's validation. I would always need somebody's validation. I'd be like, oh, I don't know if I really look good, And I didn't really realize that was a looking for invalidation type thing. I thought it was just me voicing how I felt. But that can also be a, you're looking for validation type thing without you even realizing it. And I didn't realize it. I don't know. I don't know. I've always wanted to be pretty. And then when I started to look pretty, I wanted to stay pretty, because I never thought I was pretty, and nobody ever thought I was pretty. Different day. But I had to add on. I wanted to add on. So this is a different recording session, but I am in the same outfit because that's how the pajamas work. I used to write so extensively on this type of, stuff. I would write about how I felt gross and how pre-surgery I'd be like, oh well, my boobs are too big, it makes it hard for me to breathe, and then I'm also bigger, my arms are too masculine, which is something this girl I was friends with told me one time. She's like, oh, your arms are like really buff. And like, she didn't even mean anything by it. She was just like, you know, saying it. But, you know, me being me, I internalized it. And I was like, oh my god, now I don't know. I used to write about how my scars were ugly. But of course I couldn't stop. So then I just feel like I was making myself uglier. And then I thought about it in the context of somebody actually like loving me and feeling like in order for them to love me deeply, they'd have to see those and they'd think I'm ugly or that I'm damaged or something like that. It was a lot. I don't know where younger me's brain was at. I was actually rereading some of my writings, which is why I'm adding this extra bit of recording in. I was reading over some of it and I just bashed myself so hard because I didn't feel like I was like pretty enough. I didn't look good enough. I didn't feel good enough about myself. I hated myself for so long, and it's like, wow, you know, that's just a bit of the whoa type moment. I don't really know what to call it, but I thought it would be important to put this in because I don't want this to just be a surface level video. I really do want to kind of delve deeper, you know, instead of just being like,
oh, being obsessed with being pretty is hard and it wrecked my brain.
And then of course we get into more, you know, I don't know if intersectionality is the right word, but more complex parts of myself, like my gender identity, and just really coming to terms with what that was back in like 2020, 2021, maybe even 2022. Just figuring out who I was. Being pretty played a huge part in that, and I didn't want to accept myself for the longest time because I was so deep into feeling pretty and having to look like a girl and be feminine and look feminine and be pretty and, you know, be attractive and all these things. I really wouldn't allow myself to be myself. I'd be like, oh, I can't wear this because I look too much like a boy and that means I'm not pretty, and if I'm not pretty, people won't like me, and this and that. It's a whole spiral, it's a whole pipeline. And that was really damaging to me. And something I did, I think I stopped doing this last year because I just kind of fell off with my journaling, to be honest. But what I would do back then was I would go back and reread some of the things I would write back in 2020. And I think about 2-3 years later, you know, go back and be like, hey, past me, this is you now. You know, just to leave myself something to read in the future and kind of track my progress, see where I'm at. But then, you know, I felt like I got better enough to not do that anymore. I kind of want to go back to it though. You know, there's that, of course. And I didn't want to lose my femininity. And for some reason, I don't know how the message or this idea got in my head, but I felt like if I wasn't pretty and if I gave up on trying to be as pretty as I could, get as much validation as I could, which I know where that comes from, you know, it comes from the people in my life, role models and things like that, not really giving me the validation, or the ones that did being short-term role models, and then the long-term role models weren't really giving all that. But I just thought I was gonna lose it, and I already didn't feel, you know, very girlish, like a girl. I don't know which one is the right word. I think it's gender dysphoria. I think that's the right phrase. I hope it is. Correct me if I'm wrong. Still educating. I hope that's the right one. But, you know, I wasn't really connected to being like girly. I always try to, like, you know, do what the boys did, because I was like, well, I should be able to do that too. Who cares if I'm a girl, you know? It turns out I'm not a girl. Yeah, I just felt like I couldn't fully be Kion, or I went by B at the time. I couldn't really be B because I was so focused on my looks and how I looked, not necessarily how I felt or just dressing how I felt. I always had to be pretty, and if I didn't look pretty, then oh well. I wasn't, you know, I was upset, like genuinely upset. It was not great. ever. I don't know if I even looked, if I even looked like remotely boyish, tomboyish, and I was very much like a tomboy when I was growing up. No, when I was little, I did, they dressed me, so I would always be in the dresses, the skirts, this and that, the leggings. But then as I got older, I started just like wearing hoodies and jeans and sweatpants and, all the stereotypical tomboy things. Part of that was because I hated my body and wanted every part of it hidden that I could. But also part of it was just I felt more comfortable in those clothes. And, battling with my gender identity along with discovering that I can be feminine while being not aligned with a certain gender identity was a battle, and I definitely thought I was gonna lose it. Like mentally, I was just gonna but yeah, I used to genuinely even if I was dressed very femme, because I didn't feel like my body was proportionate, but because my body wasn't proportionate, I still wouldn't feel pretty. I wouldn't feel pretty because I felt like I looked too big. And it was always hammered in my head that like people who were skinnier than me were prettier, or I would always be compared to somebody else by my mom, and it was just like, yo, I genuinely used to tweak out over fits. Like, genuinely tweak. I would get migraines thinking about an outfit. That's kind of insane. You're really like, Kion, what the fuck is wrong with you? I don't know. We're figuring it out. I got the journals. We're delving deep. Being pretty to me was one of those ways you got seen and you were heard and you were valued, because pretty people were always seen, heard, and valued, and they always got picked for things, and they always had the most friends, and I thought that being pretty was my gateway to all those things. And I just assumed, I feel like this definitely started when I was younger, like young, like 5, because I was bullied all throughout elementary school, and like I never thought they were prettier than me. Like I didn't really care. I thought I was cute. I thought I was hot shit. But I felt like there must have been a reason everybody liked them and nobody liked me. And they would say it's because I was a crybaby. And they would say because, I talked too much and things like that, which I did, granted. I am a yapper. It is something I've accepted about myself now. I used to hate that a lot. Side note, I used to hate how much I talk. My dead name actually means talkative in another language, which is kind of crazy. Like, Mom, you cursed me. But yeah, so I always, I started to equate it with, okay, they must have been prettier than me. And then I got to middle school, and that's really when things started. But I already talked about that, so I'm not gonna get into it too much. Not too much. But yeah, I just wanted to add this little segment in here. I just felt like I'm kind of rewatching the video as I edit it, and I don't know, I just needed some depth in there, because as much as I want to just pour my heart out to y'all, I still am kind of closed off, because you're not supposed to tell everybody on the internet what the fuck is going on in your head. That's not 100% healthy. Don't do that. Anyway, back to the video. Depending on where I put this at, I don't know. But I don't know, I just wanted it so badly, and then I kind of had to stop and realize I had to start kind of living for what I feel good in and what I feel I should look like, because nobody is me. Nobody's gonna be there. I shouldn't, TLDR, I shouldn't be letting others dictate how I feel about myself, basically. And that's kind of easier said than done, because you want so badly to be like accepted and recognized and acknowledged, and you've never been acknowledged in this way before, so you're like, oh my god, this is so exciting. You want more of this feeling, more of this dopamine, more of this, you know, sensation. And so you start self-analyzing, and you start overanalyzing, you start overthinking, you start being like, oh, this person like this, so I should do this. Oh, this person like that, so I should do that. Oh, well, people think this is attractive, so I should try to do that on me, so then they'll think I'm attractive. It's a lot. It's a lot. You're going to fuck yourself up that way, and you won't even mean to, but you will. Mentally, physically, possibly, if, you know, you start trying to get skinny in unhealthy ways. Do not do that. Do not do that. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I say this every fucking video, but I feel like with a lot of my videos I just ramble, but also it's because I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't mind being vulnerable. I don't mind talking about the hard things. I'll be open and honest with y'all. About, I want to say 7th grade, that's when everything went downhill. I'm sure you probably could relate. Everything always goes downhill in 7th grade. About 7th grade, everything started going downhill. I don't know. Like, I look back on pictures now and I'm like, oh, I was so cute. You know, like, some of the things I did was cringy, duh. Some things I do now are cringy, duh. That's kind of who I am. But I look back and I'm like, oh, I'm so cutesy. But at the time I was like, I'm so fucking ugly. Why does my mouth move like this? Why do my eyes look like that? I look so ugly. Oh my god. My hair would look better straight. It doesn't look good curly. The curls don't fit me. I look ugly, this and that. My body doesn't look right. I hate my clothes. It was also like, I don't know, stuff with my mom, I guess, because something, like, I internalize a lot of what she says just because, you know, that's my mom. One thing she said to me one time, I thought I had a crush on a boy. Keyword is thought. Keyword is thought. I thought I had a crush on this boy, and she was like, oh, no boy's gonna like you if you look like that. If you're just like that, if you smell like that, da da da. And some of it was in good faith, but some of it wasn't, and so that stuck with me. My family would always talk about, you know, my stomach and be like, oh, your stomach's almost as big as mine, and, you know, that would really, like, not help. After my surgery, I feel like that's when I truly started losing weight, and that's when, like, the true glow up happened. I feel like everybody's word for glow up, like, glow ups are just you growing into your body and growing into yourself, but people say glow up, but a lot of y'all were not ugly as kids. You were just kids. I don't know, like, a lot of y'all weren't ugly as kids. Y'all were just children. You're not supposed to look seductive at 12. Sorry. That didn't really help with eating habits. That didn't really help with what's it called, self-image, self-love, self-worth, whatever you want to call it, because it got, like, drilled into my head that if I eat too much, if I do too much of this, if I don't do this enough, if I don't that enough, then, you know, I'll have to get surgery again, and my surgery would be for nothing. And I was being called and I was being berated for laying down for like a second, even though I had just gotten up to walk around so that, you know, my blood didn't clot. Yeah, so that didn't help. And then just self-image has never been great. I guess. And so now, you know, now I'm 19, and I don't know, my biggest goal really is to just continue my self-love journey. I started a journal. I think that's cool. I've started to appreciate my features more. Just knowing that, like, I'm unique and I am me. Nobody can ever be Kion, and Kion can never be anybody else. If that makes sense. I don't know. This is a kind of hard video to make, I guess, because I don't know. In a lot of my videos, I get very, like, worried that I say, like, I too much and talk about myself too much, even though it's literally my channel and I'm supposed to be talking about me and my experiences and shit like that. But I get too worried and talking about me, and then y'all can't like relate, or it just sound like it gets annoying. I don't know, guys. I don't know. Anyway, this video, I recorded this one on my computer. I kind of hate it. I like almost crashed out in the beginning because I was like, why am I recording? But I need my light. I needed my flashlight, and I don't have my light with me because I am at my house. But yeah, I'm here for winter break. We made it through. We made it through. Yeah. It's December 20th, 2024. It's almost Christmas. 5 days till Christmas. 4 days till Christmas Eve. I hope y'all have an amazing Christmas. Happy holidays. If you don't celebrate Christmas, lesson of the video is love yourself. Really start delving deep into where the disconnect may be. That's what I'm starting to do, or getting back into doing, is looking for that disconnect and figuring out why it happened and what we can do to repair it. Because usually, and I'm a person who hates that everything is tied back to childhood shit, because it's like I want to move on so bad. I need it to stop affecting my life, but it does, and we can't really do anything except acknowledge it, understand or try to understand it, and use it as a lesson and use it as motivation to be better in a way, I guess. I don't know. I'm not a guru. I'm not a guru, guys. Don't take advice from me, please. I love y'all so much. We'll see when this video goes up. Who's to say it'll be in 2024? Good night. I love you. And I'll see y'all. Bye.